Welcome to the mysterious and absolutely mind-blowing world of chameleons, nature's shape-shifting, color-blasting, tongue-launching, eye-spinning masters of camouflage. In today's video, we're diving deep into 40 incredible facts about these lizards that defy logic, bend biology, and rewrite everything you thought you knew about reptiles. From the treetops of Madagascar to the tiniest branches of your imagination, chameleons live in a world that operates on a whole different level. And you're about to enter that world. Each fact is more jaw-dropping than the last, and by the end, you'll be wondering, are chameleons even real, or are they secret aliens hiding in plain sight? Imagine watching a movie with one eye while reading a book with the other. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's just a regular Tuesday for a chameleon. Each of their eyes can rotate and focus separately, giving them a full panoramic view of their environment, nearly 360 degrees. This means they can scan for predators and hunt prey simultaneously, all without moving their heads. When they finally lock in on a target, both eyes focus forward with pinpoint precision, like a sniper zeroing in. This freakish ability gives them a huge edge in the wild, where being alert is often the difference between a good meal and becoming one. It might sound like a sci-fi weapon, but the chameleon's tongue is a biological marvel. Stored in its mouth like a coiled spring, this tongue can launch out with terrifying speed, reaching prey in just 0.07 seconds. That's faster than the blink of an eye. The tongue itself can stretch out up to twice the length of the chameleon's body, and its sticky, suction cup tip ensures insects don't stand a chance. It's powered by a special accelerator muscle and a bone called the hyoid, which works like a slingshot. If you thought the frog was the king of quick strikes, think again. Chameleons are the true tongue assassins of the animal kingdom. Everyone knows that chameleons change colors, but most people think it's all about camouflage. In reality, color changing is also their way of talking. Males may turn bright and bold to intimidate rivals or impress females, while stressed or scared chameleons darken their tones dramatically. Temperature plays a role too. Lighter colors reflect heat when it's hot, while darker shades absorb warmth. These changes aren't just surface level, they're triggered by a complex network of hormones and nanocrystals beneath the skin that rearrange like pixels on a digital screen. Think of it like an emotional mood board broadcast straight through their scales. Climbing trees is no joke when you're slow, delicate, and completely exposed. That's why chameleons have evolved feet that work like clamps. Each foot has 5 toes, grouped into 2 opposing bundles. On the front feet, 3 toes point inward and 2 outward. On the back, it's reversed. This zygodactyl setup acts like natural pliers, gripping tightly to thin branches. Add in their rough, clawed tips, and you've got an animal that can move with careful precision across even the narrowest twigs. It's not about speed, it's about stealth, grip, and perfect control in a vertical world. Take a look at any chameleon's tail, and you'll notice it's not just decorative, it's a powerful tool. Their tails are prehensile, meaning they can curl around branches and hold on tightly, just like a monkey's. When a chameleon climbs, its tail often wraps around whatever it's standing on, helping to stabilize the body. It's not uncommon to see one hanging on entirely by its tail while its front limbs stretch forward for the next move. This tail isn't just for balance, it's a survival mechanism, allowing them to stay secure in the canopy where a single slip could be fatal. Even though chameleons don't have visible ears like mammals or even some other reptiles, they're not deaf. Instead of outer ear structures, they rely on internal vibrations to sense sound. They can detect low-frequency noises, usually between 200 and 600 Hz, through vibrations picked up in the bones of their skulls and jaws. That means they don't hear sounds like we do, but they can still sense movement, footsteps, or the rustle of a predator creeping nearby. It's like they're tuned into a deeper, more primal channel, one that communicates danger through tremors rather than noise. If you think all chameleons are the size of a house cat, think again. The world's smallest chameleon, Bruchisia nana, was discovered in Madagascar and is small enough to stand on the head of a match. The male measures just 13.5 mm from snout to tail, that's less than half an inch. This microscopic reptile still has all the classic chameleon traits: independently moving eyes, a curled tail, and camouflage capabilities. It's proof that nature doesn't need a lot of space to engineer something incredible. You could literally lose this chameleon in a pocket of your jeans, and that's no exaggeration. On the other end of the size spectrum is the mighty Parsons chameleon, Columba parsonii, also native to Madagascar. This beast of a lizard can reach lengths of 27 inches, or over 2 feet, making it one of the largest chameleon species in the world. It's not just the size that makes it impressive, it's the bulk. These chameleons are muscular, thick-bodied, and command attention. Their movements are slow and deliberate, almost like royalty surveying its kingdom from the trees. And yes, even at this size, they retain all the chameleon superpowers: stealth, camouflage, tongue projection, and alien-like vision. Most reptiles lay eggs, but not all chameleons follow that rule. In higher altitudes or colder environments, some species like the Jackson's chameleon, Trioceros jacksonii, are viviparous, meaning they give birth to live babies. These young are fully formed mini-chameleons, emerging from the mother ready to climb, hunt, and survive. This adaptation gives them a higher survival rate in places where eggs might freeze or dry out. Evolution has equipped these chameleons to skip the fragile egg stage and go straight into action, because in the wild, every advantage counts. Madagascar isn't just home to cute lemurs, it's also the evolutionary cradle of chameleons. Over half of all known chameleon species, more than 90, are found only on this island. This isolated ecosystem gave chameleons millions of years to diversify, adapt, and thrive without much interference. Some evolved to live high in the trees, others on the forest floor. Their sizes, colors, and behaviors vary wildly depending on the region, making Madagascar a living laboratory of chameleon innovation. It's one of the best places in the world to see rare, unique species that exist nowhere else on Earth. While humans are limited to the visible light spectrum, chameleons can detect ultraviolet, UV, light, a type of radiation that's completely invisible to us. This ability adds an entirely new layer to how they perceive their surroundings. Many surfaces in the natural world reflect UV light in ways we can't even imagine, and chameleons use this enhanced vision to find food, spot predators, and even communicate. Studies have shown that UV light may help them identify mates or rivals, with certain parts of their body glowing like secret signals. To a chameleon, the world is not just colorful, it's radiant with hidden messages that only they can see. Forget about pigments mixing like paint, the real science behind a chameleon's color change is way more high-tech. Just beneath their outer skin, chameleons have layers of specialized cells called iridophores that contain nanocrystals. These microscopic crystals reflect and refract light, and when the chameleon gets excited, scared, cold, or aggressive, the spacing between these crystals changes. That shift alters how light bounces off them, changing the color that we see. It's not so much changing color as it is bending light at the atomic level, like having millions of tiny mirrors under your skin. It's biooptics in action. Unlike snakes, which peel off their skin in one dramatic slither, chameleons shed their skin in small, flaky patches. As they grow or as their outer layer becomes worn or damaged, it peels off bit by bit. You might even catch one casually nibbling at its own shed. Yes, they sometimes eat their old skin to recycle nutrients and minerals. It's kind of gross, but also efficient. The process doesn't just keep them looking fresh, it helps reduce parasites and allows them to maintain healthy skin. Think of it like a natural, built-in exfoliation routine. You'll rarely see a chameleon sipping from a pond or stream. Instead, they've adapted to hydrate in one of the most unique ways, by licking water droplets directly from leaves, twigs, and even their own faces. In captivity, keepers often have to mist their enclosures with spray bottles or install dripping systems because chameleons don't recognize still water. In the wild, early morning dew provides their primary source of hydration. Some species are even known to wait with their mouths open during rainfall, catching droplets like nature's tiniest rain collectors. It's a delicate and efficient way to stay hydrated in their forest habitats. To us, a chameleon might seem awkwardly slow, almost painfully so. But that sluggish movement isn't a weakness. It's a brilliant hunting tactic. Moving slowly and rhythmically helps them blend into the natural sway of leaves and branches, making them virtually invisible to both predators and prey. They inch forward with mechanical precision, stopping for long periods to avoid detection. When they finally get within striking range, they unleash their lightning-fast tongue to snatch their target. It's a strategy of patience and precision, because in the chameleon's world, speed isn't about movement, it's about the strike. It might seem strange, but even though many chameleons live in tropical or humid forests, they are surprisingly prone to dehydration. That's because they rely on rainfall and dew for drinking, and they don't instinctively drink from standing water sources. In dry seasons or in captivity without proper misting systems, a chameleon can dehydrate fast, leading to sunken eyes, lethargy, and even death. Their bodies aren't built to store large amounts of water, so they need constant microdoses throughout the day. This makes them incredibly sensitive to their environment and reinforces how perfectly attuned they are to specific microclimates. In several chameleon species, especially among males, physical traits like horns, crests, or even helmet-like structures are used to display dominance or fight rivals. Take the Jackson's chameleon, for example. It has 3 prominent facial horns that make it look like a miniature triceratops. These horns aren't just for show. Males will joust and push each other in territorial battles, using their heads like battering rams. While these fights are rarely deadly, they determine who gets to claim territory, mate, or control the best basking spots. These traits are nature's armor, evolved for both intimidation and ritual combat. When threatened, a chameleon doesn't just run, it transforms. Many species will puff up, spread out their bodies sideways, and raise their dorsal crests to appear much bigger than they actually are. This visual illusion is a powerful defense mechanism. Combined with darkening their color, hissing, and rocking side to side, this behavior sends a clear message: back off. It's all bluff and theater, but often enough, it works. The display can scare off predators or rival males without the need for physical confrontation. It's a prime example of how chameleons use appearance as both weapon and shield. While many people believe chameleons just mimic their surroundings like a shape-shifting ninja, the truth is far more complex. Their color shifts are influenced by light, temperature, mood, and social interaction, not just background color. If a chameleon is relaxed, it might appear green or brown to blend with foliage. But if it's cold, angry, or trying to attract a mate, its color can become dramatically brighter or darker. In essence, they wear their mood on their skin. Their camouflage is less about vanishing into scenery and more about broadcasting status, health, and readiness. Though they can't roar, chirp, or croak like frogs or birds, chameleons aren't completely silent. Some species produce low-frequency sounds, barely audible to humans, through vibrations in their throats or chests. These sounds may be used for communication, especially in moments of stress or confrontation. In fact, captive chameleons have been observed emitting faint hissing, clicking, or even growling noises. The sounds aren't loud, but they're enough to signal discomfort or warn off an intruder. It's another reminder that these seemingly quiet creatures have more going on under the surface than we realize. Unlike mammals that rely on a diaphragm to expand and contract their lungs, chameleons breathe entirely through the movement of their rib cage and surrounding muscles. Their lungs are proportionally large and sit close to the skin, which is why you can often see their sides move in and out as they inhale and exhale. This setup gives them a unique breathing rhythm that supports both slow, stealthy movement and sudden bursts of energy. During stress or excitement, their breathing can become visibly rapid, and some species even inflate their bodies with air to look larger and more threatening, essentially weaponizing their own lung capacity. Chameleons don't just use their tails for balance, they use them like an extra hand. Their tails are prehensile, meaning they can wrap around branches and hold on tightly, just like a monkey's tail. This ability allows them to stabilize themselves while reaching for insects or navigating narrow twigs in the canopy. A chameleon climbing through a tree is essentially using 4 legs and a tail for grip, each part moving with precise, calculated control. This multi-limbed coordination helps them maintain an almost mechanical grace, even in the most complex and unstable environments. Look closely at a chameleon's feet and you'll see something fascinating. Their toes are fused into 2 opposable groups, giving them a tongue-like appearance. On each front foot, 3 toes point outward and 2 inward. On each back foot, the configuration is reversed. This zygodactyl design allows them to wrap their feet perfectly around branches, gripping with maximum stability. Their claws add extra traction, letting them climb vertically or even hang upside down with ease. It's a feature that's all about precision. Whether they're stalking prey, escaping predators, or simply lounging in the sun, their grip never falters. Despite their tough, armored look, chameleons actually have very sensitive skin. It doesn't contain oils like human skin, which means it can dry out quickly without proper humidity. In the wild, consistent misting from rain or morning dew keeps them hydrated and healthy. In captivity, lack of humidity can lead to stuck sheds, infections, and skin rot. Their skin also doesn't tolerate rough handling, it can tear or bruise easily, and stress alone can cause visible discoloration. So while they may look like tiny dragons, their skin demands care, balance, and a perfectly tuned environment to stay healthy. Being cold-blooded, chameleons depend entirely on external heat sources to regulate their body temperature. Without access to sunlight or a warm environment, their metabolism slows to a crawl. That means they can't properly digest food, move efficiently, or even maintain immune functions. In nature, you'll often find them basking in the early morning light, absorbing enough energy to jumpstart their day. In captivity, a well-regulated heat lamp is essential. If they get too cold, their colors darken, and they become lethargic, vulnerable, and prone to illness. Heat isn't just a comfort, it's survival. In one of nature's most surprising reproductive strategies, female chameleons from certain species can store sperm inside their bodies for months after mating. This ability allows them to delay fertilization until conditions are ideal, such as when food is abundant or the weather is stable. It's a powerful evolutionary advantage in unpredictable environments. In some cases, females have been observed laying multiple clutches of eggs from a single mating event, spaced out over time. This strategy maximizes the chances of offspring survival while giving the mother more control over timing. Nature has equipped them with a built-in biological calendar. Depending on the species and environmental conditions, a chameleon's eggs might not hatch for 4 to 24 months. That's right, some chameleon mothers lay their eggs and never see their offspring because they develop so slowly. The exact incubation time is influenced by temperature, humidity, and species-specific biology. For example, the Parsons chameleon of Madagascar lays eggs that can take up to 18 to 24 months to hatch, one of the longest incubation periods of any reptile. This slow development helps ensure that hatchlings emerge during optimal seasonal windows, with plenty of food and stable weather. It's a waiting game written into their DNA. Located on the top of their head is a small, light-sensitive spot called the parietal eye, sometimes referred to as the third eye. While it doesn't form detailed images like their main eyes, this organ detects light and dark and helps regulate circadian rhythms, hormone production, and alertness. It's especially useful for sensing overhead predators or sudden changes in lighting, like the shadow of a hawk. Think of it as an early warning system, keeping them one step ahead of danger even when their primary vision is focused elsewhere. It's an ancient survival tool, shared by many reptiles. While many people picture chameleons as medium-sized lizards, some species are so small they could sit comfortably on your thumbnail. The smallest known chameleon, and one of the tiniest reptiles ever discovered, is Bruchisia nana, found in Madagascar. Adult males measure just under 22 millimeters in total length. Despite their microscopic size, they possess all the iconic chameleon traits: color change, zygodactyl feet, independently moving eyes, and prehensile tails. These miniature marvels often live in leaf litter and low vegetation, where they hunt tiny insects. It's like having a full chameleon shrunk down to toy scale. Chameleons are highly sensitive creatures, and stress can take a serious toll on their health. In the wild, they're solitary and live in stable territories with consistent environmental cues. In captivity, unfamiliar surroundings, excessive handling, or poor lighting can stress them out, leading to a weakened immune system, color fading, and even premature death. Signs of stress include dark coloration, loss of appetite, and hiding behavior. Unlike more social pets, chameleons thrive best when left alone, in quiet environments where their needs are met without interruption. Respecting their boundaries is key to keeping them healthy and happy. Though not as emotionally expressive as dogs or parrots, chameleons can learn to differentiate between familiar and unfamiliar humans. In captivity, a chameleon may show signs of recognition toward the person who regularly feeds and cares for it, displaying calmer colors, less puffing, or reduced defensive behavior. On the flip side, when approached by someone new or handled too frequently, they may darken, hiss, or hide. This subtle form of recognition is based more on patterns, scent, and movement than affection, but it shows that chameleons aren't just mindless reptiles. They can learn and adapt to the rhythms of human presence. In 2018, scientists discovered that some chameleons, particularly those in the genus Columba, possess bones that fluoresce under ultraviolet light. These glowing patterns can be seen through their skin and are often located on their heads and facial crests. The exact function of this biofluorescence isn't fully understood, but it may help with species recognition, mate attraction, or communication in low-light forest environments. It's a hidden world of visual signaling invisible to the human eye, unless you shine a UV light and reveal the lizard's secret neon skeleton. It's a discovery that adds yet another layer of mystery to these already otherworldly creatures. While most chameleons prefer warm, tropical habitats, some species have adapted to live in surprisingly cold, high-altitude environments. In places like Madagascar and East Africa, chameleons have been found thriving at elevations of over 2,500 meters, more than 8,000 feet, above sea level. These highland chameleons often have darker pigmentation to absorb more heat from the sun and may bask for longer periods to maintain their body temperature. Despite the cold and wind, they continue to hunt, mate, and live their slow-motion lives in the clouds, proof that these reptiles are more adaptable than they appear. Chameleons are incredibly particular about how they hydrate. Unlike many animals that will drink from puddles, bowls, or streams, chameleons prefer to drink only from moving droplets, like dew forming on leaves or rainwater trickling down branches. In captivity, this creates a unique challenge. Owners must mist their enclosures multiple times a day or install drip systems that mimic natural rainfall. Without this setup, a chameleon might sit surrounded by water but never drink a drop, slowly dehydrating. This behavior reflects their evolution in environments where moving water is more common than still, stagnant pools. It's not just that chameleons have long tongues, it's how they use them that's jaw-dropping. Inside their mouths, a series of specialized muscles wrap around a cartilaginous bone called the entoglossal process. When a chameleon prepares to strike, those muscles squeeze and load energy like a slingshot. In milliseconds, the tongue launches outward, sometimes longer than the lizard's entire body, capturing prey with its sticky, suction-like tip. The speed and precision are so intense that some species' tongues accelerate faster than a fighter jet taking off. It's a perfect blend of biology and ballistics, evolved to catch insects with no time to escape. Unlike some other lizards, chameleons cannot regrow their tails once they're lost. However, if the tail is injured but not completely severed, they can recover partial function over time. The prehensile tail plays such a vital role in their mobility and stability that an injury often forces them to adapt their movement and behavior. While regeneration isn't complete, they can heal internal muscle damage and nerve tissue to some extent. Losing tail grip can be a huge disadvantage in the wild, but chameleons are surprisingly resilient and will find new ways to move through their environment, even if their fifth limb is compromised. While chameleons are often associated with calm, camouflage tones, they're capable of flashing vivid warning colors when under stress or feeling threatened. These warning displays often include bright yellows, intense reds, and deep blues, colors designed to signal aggression or dominance. During territorial disputes or courtship rejections, males will inflate their bodies, gape their mouths, and display these warning hues to drive off rivals or predators. The sudden burst of intense color isn't just visual, it's psychological warfare. It buys time, creates fear, and communicates a clear message: back off, I'm not in the mood. Not all color changes mean the same thing across species. In fact, each species of chameleon has evolved its own unique language of color changes, with different patterns and hues meaning different things depending on the context. What looks like a threat display in one species might be a sign of submission in another. Some use stripes to indicate readiness to mate, while others flash spots or color gradients to show dominance or fear. These visual codes are critical to avoiding unnecessary fights and miscommunications in the wild. It's not just color, it's a full system of social cues written in shifting skin. The moment they hatch, baby chameleons are completely on their own. There's no parental care, no guidance, and no protection. They emerge from their eggs fully formed miniatures, already capable of climbing, hunting, and even changing color. Within hours of hatching, they begin exploring their environment, often dispersing quickly to avoid competition or predation. Their instincts are hardwired: find food, find cover, and stay alive. This independence is impressive, but it also makes them highly vulnerable, which is why females often lay multiple eggs, sometimes dozens, to ensure at least a few survive to adulthood. Fossil evidence shows that chameleons have existed for at least 60 million years, with roots possibly stretching even farther back. That places them among the most ancient of lizard lineages, surviving mass extinctions, climate shifts, and the rise and fall of continents. Over those millions of years, they've evolved to fill highly specialized ecological roles, especially in Madagascar, where over half of the world's chameleon species live today. Their longevity as a lineage is a testament to their incredible adaptability, unique biology, and mysterious charm. In a world of rapid change, the chameleon endures, not just by blending in, but by being brilliantly, bizarrely itself. And there you have it, 40 unbelievable facts about chameleons that prove these creatures are far more than just masters of camouflage. From ballistic tongues and color-coded communication to glowing bones and babies born ready to survive on their own, chameleons are like nature's living science fiction. They're ancient, alien-looking, and packed with features most people have never heard of. Whether they're perched on a branch at 8,000 feet in the mountains or hiding in plain sight in your backyard, these reptiles continue to surprise even the most seasoned wildlife experts. So the next time you hear the word chameleon, remember, it's not just about changing colors. It's about incredible biology, evolutionary brilliance, and a lifestyle so unique that it borders on magical. If you were amazed by even one of these facts, imagine what else is out there in the wild, waiting to be discovered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we've got more unbelievable animal secrets coming your way. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.